The manager grabbed the homeless veteran by his worn jacket and dragged him.
I told you to leave, you filthy bum! You're scaring away my paying customers!
James Murphy hadn't eaten in 3 days. The former Marine had been sitting quietly in the corner booth of Miller's Diner with a single cup of coffee he'd bought with his last $2. His crime was existing while homeless.
Please, sir, I just wanted to get warm for a few minutes.
"You're making this place smell like a dumpster," the manager, Brad Wilson, shouted loud enough for everyone to hear.
Get out before I call the cops.
A well-dressed woman at the counter wrinkled her nose. "Finally, I was about to leave. That smell was making me sick." Her husband nodded in agreement. "These homeless people have no shame." James stood slowly, his body aching from sleeping on concrete. He was 67 years old with a Purple Heart, 2 Bronze Stars, and absolutely nothing else. "I served this country for 20 years, James said quietly. "I'm not asking for charity, just respect." Brad laughed cruelly. "Respect? Look at you. You're pathetic." He pushed James toward the door harder. That's when James stumbled and fell, his weak legs giving out. His coffee cup shattered on the floor. "Now you're breaking my dishes," Brad yelled. "I should make you pay for that." James tried to stand but couldn't. His vision blurred from hunger and exhaustion. A young waitress named Sophie rushed over. "Mr. Wilson, please, he's hurt." "Stay out of this, Sophie, or you're fired," Brad threatened. "Help him up and throw him out." Sophie's eyes filled with tears, but she was a single mom who needed this job. She reached down to help James. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I have a son to feed." "I understand," James said. "You do what you need to do." That's when they heard it. The deep rumble of motorcycles. 1 became 5, 5 became 20. Within minutes, 50 Harleys lined the street outside Miller's Diner. The Road Warriors Motorcycle Club had been riding past when they saw the commotion through the window. Their president, a man called Ironside, had a strict code about veterans. You protect them, period. The bikers shut off their engines simultaneously. The silence was somehow more intimidating than the noise. 50 men and women in leather vests walked toward the diner's entrance. Brad's face went pale. "Oh no, this is not happening." The lead biker was a massive man with a gray beard down to his chest. Beside him walked a woman with a prosthetic arm. Behind them, a wall of leather and chrome. They entered the diner slowly, deliberately. The bell above the door chimed 50 times. Ironside saw James on the floor and his jaw clenched. He recognized the signs immediately. The 1,000-yard stare, the way James held himself, the faded Marine Corps tattoo on his weathered forearm. Who put this man on the ground? Ironside's voice was quiet but carried the weight of absolute authority. Brad tried to sound tough. "I did. He's trespassing, and I want all of you out too." The woman with the prosthetic arm, called Valkyrie, knelt beside James. "Brother, can you stand?"
I'm okay, ma'am.
James looked up at her. "I'm okay, ma'am. Don't want any trouble." "Too late," she said gently. "Trouble already found you." Ironside turned to Brad. "This veteran was on the floor when we walked in. Care to explain?" "He's homeless," Brad said. "Bad for business. I have rights." "So does he," said another biker named Chains. "Right to be treated like a human being." Brad's confidence was cracking. "Look, I don't want any problems. Just take him and leave." We're not going anywhere, Ironside stated. "In fact, we're all very hungry. Table for 50, please." Brad's eyes went wide. "You can't be serious."
If you believe bikers are good people, subscribe to this channel and show us your support.
"Serious," Ironside said. "Unless you're refusing service?" "I don't have enough room for 50 people, Brad protested. "Then we'll wait," Valkyrie said. "All of us. Right here." The bikers spread throughout the diner. They didn't threaten anyone, didn't raise their voices, just stood there, filling every inch of space. Other customers started getting uncomfortable. "I'd like to leave now," the well-dressed woman said nervously. "Door's right there," Ironside pointed. "Nobody's stopping you." She and her husband rushed out, leaving half-eaten meals and money on the counter. More customers followed. Within minutes, Miller's Diner was empty except for bikers, Brad, Sophie, and James. "You're costing me money," Brad said desperately. Sue us, Jane suggested. We're just standing here. Sophie helped James into a booth. She brought him water without being asked. Thank you, sweetheart, James said. You're kind.
What's your name, brother?
James Murphy, Staff Sergeant, United States Marine Corps, retired.
Retired. When did you eat last? James thought about lying but couldn't. Thursday, maybe Wednesday. Hard to keep track. It was Saturday afternoon. Ironside's expression darkened. He stood and faced Brad. This Marine hasn't eaten in 3 days, and you threw him out for buying coffee. I run a business, Brad said weakly. Not anymore, Valkyrie announced. She was on her phone. Brad Wilson, owner of Miller's Diner, filed for health code violations twice last year, dismissed both times by paying off Inspector Morrison. How did you? Brad started. We have friends everywhere, Chains interrupted, and they talk to us. Ironside pulled out his wallet. Sophie, what's the most expensive thing on the menu? The deluxe breakfast platter, Sophie said quietly. $23. Bring 50 of them, Ironside ordered, and whatever James wants. I can't possibly, James protested. You're not paying, brother, Ironside said. We are. Brad saw an opportunity. That's over $1,000. Cash up front. No problem, Valkyrie said. She counted out $12,000 bills. The extra $200 is Sophie's tip for being kind to a veteran. Sophie started crying. That money was more than she made in 2 weeks. You can't do this, Brad said, but his voice had no conviction. Already did, Ironside said. Now cook. Brad had no choice. He went into the kitchen and started cooking while 50 bikers waited patiently. While they waited, Ironside learned James's story. 2 tours in Vietnam, Purple Heart in Khe Sanh, 20 years in the Marines, honorably discharged. Wife died of cancer, lost their house paying medical bills. Daughter stopped talking to him out of shame. VA benefits caught in red tape for 6 months. Living in a tent behind the strip mall. How'd you get that Purple Heart? Chains asked. James looked down. My squad was pinned down. Someone had to draw fire so the others could retreat. You took a bullet for your brothers, Valkyrie said. That's the definition of heroism. Just did my duty, James said quietly. No such thing as just duty, Ironside replied. Every man here knows what it costs. One by one, the bikers shared their stories. Valkyrie lost her arm in Fallujah. Chains did 3 tours in Afghanistan. A biker named Doc was a combat medic who still had nightmares. Reaper served in Desert Storm. At least 30 of the 50 were veterans. The others were family members or supporters who understood sacrifice. We take care of our own, Ironside explained. And brother, you're one of ours. The food arrived on a cart. Mountains of eggs, bacon, pancakes, hash browns. James stared at it like he was seeing a mirage. Go ahead, Valkyrie encouraged.
Go ahead, eat.
Eat. James picked up a fork with shaking hands. The first bite brought tears to his eyes. Not because of hunger, but because of kindness. For 3 days, people had walked past him like he was invisible. Now 50 strangers treated him like family. Brad brought out more food, his face red with embarrassment. Some customers had returned, drawn by curiosity about the motorcycles outside. They saw bikers feeding a homeless veteran, and some started understanding. Can I do something? A young man asked Ironside. I'm prior Army. Pull up a chair, brother, Ironside said. The Army veteran sat with James, and they talked about service, sacrifice, and the struggle to adjust to civilian life. More veterans in the diner revealed themselves. A truck driver, a factory worker, the postal carrier who'd just finished his route. 8 veterans total, all drawn together by shared experience. This happens too often, the postal carrier said. We serve our country and come home to nothing. Not nothing, Ironside corrected. You come home to us. While James ate, Valkyrie made phone calls. Within 30 minutes, she had connections. James, I got you an appointment with VA Services Monday morning, she announced. They're expediting your benefits claim.
I don't understand.
I don't understand, James said.
Why are you helping me?
Why are you helping me? Because we can, Chains said simply. And because it's right. Ironside leaned forward. James, how would you feel about a job? A job? James repeated. Doing what? Our clubhouse needs maintenance, cleaning, repairs, general upkeep. Nothing heavy, just keeping the place running. I'm 67 years old, James protested. I'm not exactly. You're a Marine, Ironside interrupted. You know discipline and hard work. That's all we need. I don't have anywhere to live, James admitted. The clubhouse has a spare room, Valkyrie said. Rent-free until you get back on your feet. James broke down completely. These strangers were offering him everything he'd lost: purpose, shelter, dignity. Why? He sobbed. Why would you do this for me? Ironside's voice was thick with emotion. My father was a Vietnam vet. Came home to protesters spitting on him. Struggled with PTSD his whole life. Died alone in a VA hospital while I was deployed. He looked James in the eye. I couldn't help my dad, but I can help you. The diner went quiet. Even Brad had stopped moving in the kitchen. Every veteran we help is honoring someone we couldn't save, Valkyrie added. My brother killed himself 3 years after leaving the service. If someone had been there for him, she couldn't finish. James understood. They were all carrying ghosts, all trying to save each other from becoming their own casualties. I'll take the job, James said, and I'll work harder than anyone you've ever had.
I know you.
I know you will, Ironside said. You're a Marine. Brad emerged from the kitchen. His face changed. Something in him had shifted watching this unfold. Mr. Murphy, Brad said quietly, I owe you an apology. James looked up surprised. I was wrong, Brad continued. Dead wrong, and I'm sorry. Why the change of heart? Chains asked suspiciously. Brad looked at the floor. My grandfather was at Normandy. He used to tell me stories about the men who didn't make it home, said we owed them everything. He looked at James. You remind me of him, and I'm ashamed of what I did. Apology accepted, James said simply. That's it? Brad asked. Just like that. Just like that, James confirmed. Life's too short for hate. Ironside stood. Brad, we're going to leave now, but we'll be back. Often. You're all welcome anytime, Brad said. And Mr. Murphy, you eat free here, forever. You don't have to do that, James protested. I know, Brad said, but I want to. The bikers prepared to leave. Ironside handed James a card. Address is on there. Come by tomorrow morning. We'll get you set up. I don't know how to thank you, James said. Thank us by living well, Valkyrie said. That's all we ask. The 50 bikers filed out of Miller's diner, their boots creating that same rhythmic sound. James watched them through the window as they mounted their motorcycles. Before starting their engines, all 50 bikers saluted him. James stood and saluted back, tears streaming down his weathered face. A Marine saluting his brothers, brothers saluting their fellow warrior. The motorcycles roared to life and rolled away, but 3 stayed behind. We're your ride, Chains explained. Can't have you walking to your new home. James climbed into a sidecar, something he never thought he'd do at 67. As they rode through town, people stared. An old homeless man in a sidecar with bikers. They didn't know his story, didn't know about Quezon or the Purple Heart or the 20 years of service. They just saw what they expected to see. But James didn't care anymore. He'd found his family again. Sophie watched them leave and smiled. She used her $200 tip to buy groceries and a birthday present for her son. Brad closed the diner early and went to visit his grandfather's grave. He had some apologizing to do. The well-dressed couple who'd complained saw the news story that night. 50 bikers rescue homeless veteran became a viral sensation. They recognized the diner and felt ashamed. James started work Monday morning. The clubhouse was rough but honest work. He repaired motorcycles, cleaned floors, organized tools. Every day bikers stopped by to check on him. Every day he felt more human. His VA benefits came through in 3 weeks instead of 3 months. Someone at the VA who knew someone who knew Ironside made it happen. 6 months later, James had his own apartment. He still worked at the clubhouse, but now by choice, not necessity. His daughter reached out after seeing the viral video. They had coffee. It was awkward, but it was a start. A year after that day at Miller's Diner, the Road Warriors held their annual memorial ride. They invited James to speak. He stood before 300 bikers and told his story. I was invisible, James said. Not just homeless, but erased. People looked through me like I didn't exist. He paused, composing himself. Then, 50 bikers walked into a diner and reminded me that I mattered, that my service meant something, that I wasn't forgotten. Ironside stood beside him, hand on his shoulder. "You reminded us why we ride," Ironside said, "to protect, to serve, to honor those who've been forgotten. The road warriors still patrol that area. They look for veterans who've fallen through the cracks. They've helped 17 more since James. Each one has a story. Each one found family when they needed it most." Miller's Diner became a meeting place for veterans. Brad keeps a wall of photos showing servicemen and women who eat there. James's Purple Heart has a place of honor. Sophie still works there. She's studying nursing now, paid for by scholarship from veteran organizations. Her son wants to join the Marines when he's old enough. Brad sponsors veteran job fairs every quarter. He's not perfect, but he's trying to be better. James Murphy is 68 now. He rides with the road warriors every weekend, not in a sidecar anymore, but on his own bike, a restored Harley that Chains rebuilt with him. The license plate reads USMC Proud. When people ask about his story, James tells them the truth.
I was kicked out of a diner for being homeless. 50 bikers walked in and gave me my life back. Best day of my life.
Because sometimes salvation arrives on motorcycles. Sometimes family is 50 strangers who choose to care. And sometimes all it takes is one act of kindness to remind a forgotten warrior that his service still matters.
If you believe bikers are good people, subscribe to this channel and show us your support.